Welcome to another episode of Pet Central. My name's Cece, and this week we have Judgmental Kitties, a list of the top 10 horror films featuring animals that you should watch, and so much more. Stay tuned. If we were finally able to figure out a way to verbally communicate with our cats, I don't think many cat owners would be that surprised to see that their cats are occasionally a bit annoyed at them or regard them as fools, demanding nothing else but food and loyalty. Cut to New Jersey, where a cat owner adopted a rescue kitten from the streets, who turned out to have a feature which very much makes the kitty look quite judgmental. Yes, this cat in question seemingly has the most judgmental face ever, due to the fact that she sports a black rim around her eyes that look like eyebrows and make her very much look like an angry version of Eugene Levy, aka Jim's dad from the American Pie films. Yes, no matter what position she lies in or how she looks at you, Lily, as her owner named her, always seems to disapprove regarding whatever is going on. Her owner also stated that one of her favorite things to do is to sit by the window and watch both the birds and the people passing by. So if you ever spot a cat that looks utterly disapprovingly at you, then you know who you're dealing with. Oh, but we do hear she's quite friendly otherwise. You can't deny that the Japanese produce some of the most creative and visually stunning adverts in the world. However, this next story, while creative, is also slightly odd. Enter Japanese game publisher Bandai Namco, who decided to take a bit of an alternative method when promoting their new game Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization, using pretty much nothing else but videos of cats, which they dubbed over with voices from the upcoming game. And yes, before you ask, this is totally legit. The first episode, titled I Can Read Your Moves, features the voice of series protagonist Kirito. And guess what? We have a slice of it for you right here, so let's take a look.
とどめだスターバーストストリーム
And the second promo episode features combat training, which again makes use of the game's voice actors. And guess what? We have a bit of a sample of that one for you too. So let's take a look.
あとは一気に剣を突き出す。
一気に突き出す。
俺に当たるとこだったぞ。
Anyhow, what do you think about these weird and wacky videos? For those interested, Sword Art Online Hollow Realization comes out on the PS4 on October 27th. But until then, watch out for more fun cat promo videos. Welcome to another session of Ask the Vet, where you get to ask one of our vets a question about your pet. This week's question comes from Lauren Woods, who asks, My cat is going to be 10 years old soon. Being older, should I worry about him jumping off or onto tables, etc. in case he hurts himself?
It's a really good question, and we've got to look at the forces involved. So when a cat jumps up onto something, they're using their own muscles, and as they go up, they slow down because of gravity. So usually when they land, they're landing fairly gently. So jumping up onto something isn't usually a problem, unless the cat's done something really silly like jump up onto the stove. But jumping down from somewhere, they get the force of their muscles that makes them leap over, and then they get gravity pulling them down. So all of the serious injuries that I've seen involving cats jumping have been when they jump down and they've landed hard, and that's when they can break bones or tear ligaments or tear muscles. So for cats of any age, I think jumping down is the bigger issue. As cats get older though, if they've got a condition that makes them weaker, then they're more likely to hurt themselves. So they tend to lose muscle if, for example, they've got kidney disease or gut disease, which are very common in cats over the age of 10. So I think be particularly careful about animals that might be a bit incoordinated because of weakness, or after an anaesthetic when they might be quite incoordinated but might still think that they're okay. You know, a bit like a person who's had a bit too much to drink. They think they're fine, but they're not coordinating very well. Be careful about those. Reduce access to high places that they can jump up onto, not because they'll hurt themselves jumping up, but because they've got to come down.
And that's it for another session of Ask the Vet. Now, if you have a question that you'd like one of our vets to answer about your pet, make sure to leave us a comment with the hashtag AskTheVet. Seeing as how it's near a certain time of year, we figured we'd make a list of the top horror films featuring killer animals. So turn off the lights, huddle under the covers, because it's time for our top 10 list. Number 10, Night of the Lepus. Giant rabbits attack in this 70s B-movie about how science makes rabbits scary. Number 9, Long Weekend. A classic Ozploitation film about a feuding couple who sees nature turn on them in terrifying ways. Number 8, Arachnophobia. Spiders terrorize the family in this campy B-movie, referencing those from the past. And yes, John Goodman is amazing in this one. Number 7, The Birds. A scary animal film from the master of suspense himself. It's a classic, it's The Birds. Number 6, Cujo. Based on a story by Stephen King, this film focuses on a dog terrorizing a family with nowhere to turn. Number 5, Piranha. What B-movie exploitation horror list can be complete without a film produced by Roger Corman? Later remade in the 2000s, this film still has a bite to it. Number 4, Rogue. You gotta have a croc somewhere in this list, and no one makes films about crocs like the Aussies do. Number 3, Rats. It's legendary exploitation filmmaker Bruno Mattei. It's an army of rats hunting humans in a post-apocalyptic setting. We love the ending to this film. Number 2, Jaws. If you haven't seen Jaws by now, well, you know how this goes. And for our number 1, Razorback. And the number 1 spot goes to the awesome Ozploitation film from my home country, Razorback. A giant wild pig hunts people in the Australian outback. Not only is it mad, but it looks amazing as well. And that's it for our top 10 animal-based horror films. What did you think? And are there any films that you think we should have included in this list? If there are, let us know in the comments below. A little while ago, we covered a story about a cat interrupting an American live broadcast and ending up on air. And this time we have a very similar story, but in Turkey. Cut to the show Good Morning Denizli, which is hosted by the calm, professional and cool Kudret Silabiog, who seemingly was discussing the current events of the day when a kitten decided to climb onto his desk and investigate what was going on. Being the professional and cat lover that he is though, he simply turned his attention to the cat and stated, "As you know, winter is coming and cold weather is passing through," he said. "It's an unexpected guest, but we should cuddle him. We should open the doors to stray cats and give them water and food. We all should take care of them somehow." After stating this, the show's crew decided to both feed the kitten and give it a warm place to stay, naming it Husnu, meaning beauty in the Turkish language. What differentiates this story from its American counterpart is that this kitten managed to sneak into a studio, as opposed to interrupting a crew on location. But we sure are glad he did, as the now famous kitty has been adopted by one of the studio's crew members. We do love a happy ending. And that's it for another episode of Pet Central. We hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest pet news, make sure you hit subscribe below. Till next time, bye!